Feud of the year. Now, we've watched a lot of wrestling, Jim. Any guesses on Feud of the year for 2020?
I'm trying to think of who had something that I would consider a legitimate feud that was believable and that you thought that they were really mad and pissed off at each other. I'm coming up blank.
It is rough to think of a really good feud for the year. Even some of the ones that people love in AEW, again, like Young Bucks and FTR, horrible booking. From beginning to end, just
They didn't have a feud. They just had a couple of matches so that the Young Bucks could beat them and make them look bad, and then they sent them off to work with the fucking midget.
And that's the sad part. That was the feud. Really bad booking. Feud of the year, Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. I don't know if I would have picked that.
Is that a feud now? They were mad for 3 weeks and had a match or two. Did they have two?
I think they're still mad. Like, I don't think there's been any end of the simmering madness from either of those men. For the record,
but
though,
it ain't a fucking feud if they're not headlining the goddamn pay-per-view with it.
For the record, though, and this is where the awards have really gone completely crazy with AEW, I'm going to name some of the previous Feud of the Year winners. Tell me if these are all-time classic feuds that, you think of and you're like, yeah, that's a great one. You ready?
Okay.
1980, Bruno Sammartino versus Larry Zbyszko.
Yeah, you think.
81, Andre the Giant versus Killer Khan. 82, Ted DiBiase versus Junkyard Dog.
Of course.
83 and 84, Freebirds versus Von Erichs.
Huge.
85, DiBiase versus Duggan.
Yep.
86, Hogan versus Orndorff.
Yep.
87, Lawler versus Austin Idol and Tommy Rich.
Yep.
88, Midnight Express versus Fantastics.
Yep.
89, Ric Flair versus Terry Funk.
Yep.
2020, Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. Right? I mean, no disrespect to those guys, but it doesn't belong there.
There wasn't another feud listed, another program on that list where those guys didn't wrestle literally. In Andre and Killer Khan's case, dozens of times, and in the Von Erichs and Freebirds case, every night for 2 years. Hundreds of times.
In Andre and Killer Khan's, it may not have all been the same year, but they actually worked multiple territories, too, with that feud.
Yeah.
Because they sent the video around.
Exactly. But the point is, you remember it. It went on, the promos and the build went on for weeks and weeks. The matches went on, and then the returns and the stipulations, and yes, those were programs, those were feuds, those were rivalries. This is a couple matches on TV and some promos. What the fuck? Is this what's left?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.